This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. Hey everybody, welcome back. Let's get into this. I talk about voter suppression a lot because, well, it's important. It is the fundamental of our democratic process in this republic is voting to choose the people who are going to make vastly immeasurable important decisions for us. Especially in times like this when we're facing the health crisis that we're facing. And I've talked about Wisconsin, I've talked about North Carolina, Pennsylvania, just this national push right now among Republican states to close hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of polling places, making the number of places that you can go vote more sparse, making lines longer, dissuading people from wanting to vote, to wanting to take part in the process, which is a form of disenfranchisement. Our leaders should be encouraging more participation, not less. Well, just hours ago, the state of Kentucky is taking a page out of Wisconsin's playbook, making it more difficult to vote during this pandemic than easy, making it more difficult than easy. Rather than making it a seamless system that encourages more people to vote, they're making it difficult. Andy Beshear, the governor of Kentucky, a couple weeks ago, 10 days ago or so, vetoed a photo ID, a voter ID law in Kentucky. And the Republican-controlled legislature just overrode his veto, making this law to go into effect this November, this election. The problem with their plan, and it's clear to me that this was intended, they're taking advantage of the fact that you can't go get an ID right now. So how many tens of thousands or even thousands of people are going to be boxed out of participating in this election for lack of the ability to go get a photo ID? This is what happens when you go to the website to find out about getting a photo ID. The drive.kentucky.gov website. Following the guidance of Governor Beshear to limit in-person services, the one-stop shop in Frankfort and all statewide license issue locations, including real ID offices, will be closed to the public until further notice. We apologize for any inconvenience and appreciate your understanding. Online services are still available at this time. So the Republicans are taking advantage of the sane response to this, to the policy of stay at home, social distancing, certain government offices being closed. You can't, even if you wanted to right now, you can't go get a photo ID to be in compliance with the law to be able to vote. This is scandalous, undemocratic behavior on the part of a Republican legislature. And there's no other way to look at this. Photo ID, voter ID laws are voter suppression because there's no other reason to have them in place. Zero reason. Let me explain why. I'm going to quote from Vox here. But this type of in-person voter fraud these initiatives target is non-existent to extremely rare. Loyola Law School professor Justin Levitt has tracked credible allegations of in-person voter impersonation for years, finding 35 total credible allegations between 2000 and 2014, when more than 800 million ballots were cast in national general elections, and hundreds of millions more were cast in primary, municipal, special, and other elections. 35 cases of in-person voter fraud, which is ostensibly what these voter ID laws are targeting. That it's rampant in-person voter fraud. And this law school professor did a study 35 cases among almost 1 billion ballots cast. That's not a problem. A Wisconsin study found 7 cases of any kind of fraud among 3 million ballots cast in 2004. 7. And in Iowa, they have a Secretary of State who's got a boner for voter ID, and he wasn't able to find a single, over the course of his 2-year investigation, didn't find one single case of voter impersonation, nullifying any need for voter ID laws. Indiana put a law into place for voter ID, which is in place right now. And they put it in place after finding one single instance of voter fraud over the course of, are you ready for it? 140 years. And they still feel like it was so necessary to put photo ID in place. This is voter suppression. And if you're, I know I've played this clip before, even recently I've played this clip before, but it is important. It is important because on its face, it seems logical that, yeah, why not need to show an ID when you vote to prove that's who you are, that you're the person casting the vote? It seems that would be a reasonable thing. The problem with it is it's absolutely intended to suppress voter turnout of younger people, students, black and brown people, poor people, people who tend to vote for Democrats. Here's a clip, a montage of Republican Party officials, again I'm going to play it, of Republican Party officials explaining that if it weren't for photo ID, for voter ID laws, Hillary Clinton would have won, or whoever would have won. The Democrat would have won. The Republican Party would have been hurt. It wouldn't have fared as well if it hadn't been for voter ID laws. Now, if voter ID law is just to try to eliminate voter fraud, then how is it going to help one particular party over the other? Watch the clip.
Be it. If it hurts a bunch of lazy blacks that wants the government to give them everything, so be it.
Voter ID, which is going to allow Governor Romney to win the state of Pennsylvania. Done.
Well, I think Hillary Clinton is about the weakest candidate the Democrats have ever put up, and now we have photo ID, and I think photo ID is going to make a little bit of a difference as well.
He won. He beat McCain by 10%. He only beat Romney by 5%. I think that probably photo ID had helped a bit in that.
So Mitt Romney, the Republican, is helped because of voter ID laws. The Democrats are hurt. If it hurts a bunch of lazy blacks, these are the people who champion voter ID laws. And now we got Kentucky, home to Mitch McConnell, Matt Bevin, and that is what they're trying to do. Even as shamelessly as doing it and put it into place when we are in the midst of a pandemic where over 26,000 Americans have died because of this virus, that government services, regular business services are closed all over the country, all over the world for that matter, to make it safer, to try to flatten the curve, to try to shorten the timeline of this thing. I'd love to know what you think. 714-576-4054. Email me daily at dollemore.com. If you're in a financial position to do so, to help support this kind of content, help produce this kind of independent media, click the join button under the video here on YouTube and become a channel member. Right now, times are as tough as they've ever been relative to independent media, but I think it's more important now than ever to support voices like mine. And if I provide any value whatsoever to you, if you're still here listening to me, It seems like I provide some value. If I do, please consider it if you're in a financial position to do so. Thank you very much. I love you guys. I appreciate every single one of you, every moment that you spend engaged with my content. Be genuine and, as always, take care of one another.